Hare Krishna, Maharaj Dhanur Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Good to see you, Maharaj, again. How are you?
I'm doing fine. You're okay?
Yes, Maharaj.
How are the rains in Gurgaon?
It's less frequent now, like than before. Last week it wasn't much raining here.
You got some floods in Delhi?
Yes, Yamuna is overflowed, and due to that, it is there. Like lots of waters coming up from the mountains, and after that, getting accumulated in Haryana and Punjab, Himachal, things going on there, and due to that, there is a very heavy overflow at the side here in Haryana, which leads to releasing of more and more water to Delhi side, due to which Yamuna is overflowed, Maharaj. Like last week, and last week was pretty much terrible in view of the low-lying areas, but now it's back to almost normal. Although they have again forecasted for the similar rains, and for I mean they did do that for today as well, but it didn't rain much. Let us see what happens for tomorrow and day after.
I see.
Yes.
Vrindavan is flooded, yeah?
Yes.
Or was?
Yeah, we saw the pictures and the videos of Yamuna Maya entering Goshala. Bhakti.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well.
We can start. So Hare Krishna and Pranam dear devotees. So we welcome His Holiness Bhakti Arjava Guru Swami Maharaj by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra once. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. So,
And now, just to verify, we are on the verses 38, right?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we will continue with the second chapter. And then, so the section then verses 38 to 53, Buddha Yoga. So, okay, in verses 10 to 30, the Lord defeated Arjuna's sentimental compassion for the bodies of his relatives. And in verses 31 to 37, the argument based on sense enjoyment was rejected. In verses 38 to 53, Krishna defeats Arjuna's argument that fighting will bring about sinful reactions in his community. To verse 238, Srila Balavi Vidyabhushan writes, Arjuna asks, you have explained by verse 33 and the verses following it that I will attain sin by not fighting, since I will be giving up my duty. But still, I should not fight because sin will arise from killing brahmanas and gurus in a war to gain a kingdom. Krishna replies, it is not so. You will not incur sin by killing them when you are fighting with a desire for liberation. This is explained in this verse. In other words, sin results from fighting in ignorance. Fighting in knowledge, according to religious principles, is not sinful, but righteous. With verses 38 and 39, the Lord shifts the subject from Sakama Karma to Nishkarma, or Buddha Yoga. In verses 38, Krishna directly instructs Arjuna to fight for the sake of fighting because he desires the battle. Arjuna should do this without considering the results. There will be no sin. The analytical description of the soul made in verses 12 to 30 did not remove Arjuna's illusion. Therefore, Krishna now recommends the process of Buddhi Yoga. By following this process, one is freed from karmic reactions and realizes its spiritual position. In his commentary to verse 39, Srila Bharat Vidyabhushan writes, Krishna says, the understanding or knowledge necessary for performance of Sankhya alone has been spoken to you, starting with the verse 12 and ending with the verse 30. If that knowledge does not arise in you because of impurities in your heart, then hear about the knowledge necessary to execute Karma Yoga, which will now be spoken, and which includes within it Atma Gyan. By performing these actions with this understanding, you will be freed from the bondage created by action. Executing these actions with great energy, with a desire for bliss of Atma, and by order of the Lord, you will cross over samsara by being fixed at Atma Gyan, which will later appear in you as a result of Nishkarma Karma Yoga. So, this is now very nicely explained that what we need to work on, that the process of bhakti is a process. So, in the beginning, we may desire, we may want to get into bhakti, we may want to serve the Lord, but our desire may not be very strong. So it's Sakama Karma Yoga. So that we are trying to engage our own desires some way or other, so then we don't forget Krishna. But our focus is not really on that we want to always remember Krishna. That's not there yet. So now, Arjuna, he is not understanding it fully, right? He is just pretending, or he's in the position that he still feels that if I fight, even though Krishna is telling me to, but if I fight, then we will still incur sin because we are killing brahmanas and gurus and family members. So that's that's Arjuna's fear still. But Krishna, he tells him, no, just don't do it with the material desire. It's not about the kingdom. Now it's about just because Krishna wants it. And that's a good enough reason. So now, if we do activities because Krishna wants it, then there is no karma involved for us. If we are doing it because we want it, then no, we are getting affected by it. If we offer the results, then that's Sakama Karma Yoga. So we get somewhat purified, but it's not the top. So once we understand that we have to give up even our ideas about how we want to run things, our life or whatever. So that's the process of Buddha Yoga. That we need to realize, I want to please Krishna. I want to please Krishna by serving him. And how do I do that? So first, we need to approach the spiritual master. But not anyway, not just for, oh, he's some Kula Guru. So no, just accept him. So then, because he's more famous, so take him just for the sake of yeah, I am his disciple. No, no, no. We have to accept Guru so that he can give us the instructions how we can transcend this material world. But to accept such a Guru, it is to be done with a proper mood. Pranipata, that means being very sincere, being serious. Pariprashna, then be interested about it. So inquiring. And sevaya, be ready to perform service. See, it's like this. If we have no desire to know things, we don't need ask any questions. So even if we get answer, we don't know that we got answer. It's not, that's not our agenda. We don't want to know that. Like, for example, no, you may have a small child and he is listening to some adult conversation. So many things may be mentioned, but the child may understand nothing from that. He's not interested. He's not asking questions. So he will know nothing. So the same way, it is that if we want to really sincerely go back to Godhead, to transcend this material world, then we have to want it. And that we want, it's not that, oh yeah, I want to be famous. So that's why I want it. No, we have to want it. And that we want it, then it's shown by our inquiry. What am I supposed to do? How do I transcend this material world? I want to know. And then we have to also be very careful, because once we want it and we ask questions, then we are obliged to follow the answers. So we approach Guru with submissiveness, we inquire, we render service, but then we are supposed to follow. So that we can understand what the Tattvadarshi, what the saints realized, we need to know, we need to follow properly. If we don't follow the proper mood, we will be lost. As an example, see, just look at Karna. Karna, he was, his service attitude was excellent. He was serving Parashuram, very, very nicely. He was asking questions. But what was his mood? He externally was submissive, but his mood was, I want to be the best. I want to be better than Arjuna. I want to know, I want to get weapons. I want to know. It's not about Parashuram. He knew that if Parashuram would know that he is Kshatriya, he will not be accepted. So he deceived Parashuram. So what benefit he got? So we have to first work on our control our desires. Is it true that we want to go back to Godhead? Is it true? Then if that's true, then Krishna can give us either himself as a Paramatma or through his spiritual, through the spiritual master. Then he can give us the instructions how we can But as long as we are maintaining the attachments to the material world, then it will be very, very difficult, not possible, to get attached to the spiritual world. They are not compatible. So this is something which we have to work. And we can see how Arjuna very brilliantly shows how from as like being bewildered in the beginning, understood in the later chapters, he understood Krishna's mood, he understood what his duty is, and you can see at the end he was ready to fight, but not for the kingdom. And he was not afraid that he's going to die or he's going to get some sinful activities, sinful reactions. Why? Because he was fully surrendered to Krishna. So he was fighting for Krishna. That was his realization at the end of the Gita. And that's what we should also realize. Okay. In verses 41 to 53, the Lord describes Buddhi Yoga as working in knowledge without attachment for the results. Srila Prabhupada defines it sometimes as Karma Yoga and sometimes as Bhakti Yoga. There is a permanent gain in following the path of Buddhi Yoga. The intelligence of those who are resolute is firmly fixed in one aim. Srila Vishwan Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on the verse 41 is very instructive in this regard. The best kind of intelligence I can have is intelligence used in the service of Krishna. That intelligence is defined as fixed when it is intent upon my spiritual master's instructions, such as chanting the name of Krishna, remember his activities, and performing service to his lotus feet. These instructions are my sadhana and my life, both in the beginning stages of bhakti as well in bhakti's perfectional stage. I desire only to follow his instructions. I accept nothing else as my life's work, even in dreams. Whether I am happy or distressed, whether the material world remains or is destroyed, I don't care. There is no loss for me. I simply must carry the orders of my spiritual master. Fixedness upon his order is determined intelligence and devotional service. And only by being fixed on his orders can such determined intelligence prosper. So it's about, we talked before, it's about the desire. Okay, what do we want? So if we are fixed on material activities, then we will be exposed to those and we will be just enjoying the material results. However, if we are fixed upon that we want to transcend this material world, then we will get the full opportunity to do so. Externally, it may look the same. Internally, it's different. So, those who are not fixed are diverted by many branched fruitive desires. Such less intelligent people are attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, say there is nothing more than heavenly enjoyment. Thus, they are bewildered and bereft of the resolute determination for Krishna's devotional service, samadhi. Such people are in diseased condition because they deprive themselves of real happiness. Srila Prabhupada writes in Beyond Birth and Death. The body must be considered a diseased condition. A diseased man cannot enjoy himself properly. A man with jaundice, for instance, will taste sugar candy as bitter, but a healthy man can taste its sweetness. In either case, the sugar candy is the same, but according to our condition, it tastes different. Unless we are cured of this diseased conception of bodily life, we cannot taste the sweetness of spiritual life. If we really want freedom from the miseries of material existence, we must minimize our bodily demands and pleasures. In verse 43, the Lord states that the materialist, being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, say that there is nothing more than this. Thus, the religion or philosophy one follows is predestined by the disposition of the heart, or his heart. Srila Prabhupada explains in his purport to Bhagavad Gita 17.3. Pure goodness is transcendental. In purified goodness, one can understand the real nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As long as one's faith is not completely in purified goodness, the faith is subject to contamination by any of the modes of material nature. The contaminated modes of material nature expand to the heart. Therefore, according to the position of the heart in contact with the particular mode of material nature, one's faith is established. It should be understood that if one's heart is in the mode of goodness, his faith is also in the mode of goodness. If his heart is in the mode of passion, his faith is also in mode of passion. And if his heart is in the mode of darkness, illusion, his faith is also thus contaminated. Thus, we find different types of faith in this world, and there are different types of religions due to the different types of faith. The real principle of religious faith is situated in the mode of pure goodness. But because the heart is tinted with, we find different types of religious principles. Thus, according to the different types of faith, there are different kinds of worship. As we mentioned, just it depends on the desire, and then you will be guided. So whatever you desire, Krishna will find a way how to guide you to fulfill the desire. All non-devotional concepts are simply attempts to justify different grades of impiety. They are not born out of objective search for the absolute truth, because any sincere quest for the absolute truth must lead to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada makes this clear in his purport to Bhagavad Gita 5.4. The aim of the analytical study of the material world is to find the soul of existence. The soul of the material world is Vishnu, or the super soul. Devotional service to the Lord entails service to the super soul. One process is to find the root of the tree, and the other to water the root. The real students of Sankhya philosophy finds the root of the material world, Vishnu, and then in perfect knowledge engages himself in the service of the Lord. So, those who are bewildered by material desires are unable to make the obvious conclusion of this research and do not surrender to the Lord. In verses 45 to 51, Krishna explains that one who knows him as the ultimate goal can achieve all the purposes of the Vedas. The Vedas mainly deal with the subject of the three modes of nature. Arjuna should rise above these and be situated in the self, without duality. In order to do this, however, he should not prematurely abandon his Kshatriya duties. In verse 47, the Lord reveals that Arjuna's specific adhikar, qualification, is not to renounce his obligation, but to perform them with proper understanding. Arjuna is advised to fight as a matter of duty, without attachment for the result, in complete equanimity. This is the definition of Naishkarmya given by the Lord in verse 48. In such surrendered compliance, all abominable activities are discarded. Instead of karmic bondage, Buddhi Yoga produces transcendental knowledge. and striving for yoga, the art of working without karmic reactions, Arjuna should act in Krishna consciousness. The great sages freed themselves from birth and death by this process of Buddha yoga and reached the destination where there are no sufferings. In verses 52 and 53, the Lord says that Arjuna should not become bewildered by the heavenly delights promised in the Vedas. He should become indifferent to karmic rewards and be fixed in transcendence. Hare Krishna. So, are there any questions to what we discussed about the Buddha yoga?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Danvat Pranam, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, I have this question regarding this, the contaminated modes of material nature expand to the heart. So, Maharaj, we have been studying about mind, intelligence, and the soul. So now here it is mentioned the heart. Like I'm not able to understand these lines. Therefore, according to the position of the heart in contact with a particular mode of material nature, one's faith is established. So, like, why the heart is being mentioned over here and not the mind or the like?
You see,
Which is
the heart, which is being mentioned here, it's not the heart, the physical pump which pumps the blood in the body. Okay, that's not the heart. The heart actually, it's no, in the middle where the heart chakra is, and that's the place where the soul and super soul resides. So actually, it's the subtle body where it's the mind and the consciousness. No, and in the ahankar, when the soul is covered with the ahankar, then it's working under the influence of the material mind and consciousness and intelligence. But that's when all the bewildering comes. That's what the impurities are. To be able to reestablish the real consciousness of the soul, then we need to remove the ahankar. But we have no strength to remove the ahankar. Only Krishna has the strength. The only adhikar, our adhikar is that what we can do is to desire for our ahankar to be removed. If we do so, then Krishna, by his spiritual potency, by bhakti, by chanting the holy name once, by chanting or by taking a little bit of prasad with the right desire, immediately the ahankar can be dissolved. Now, when the ahankar is dissolved, there is no question of that the linga sharira, the subtle body, to exist. So we will immediately get get in touch with the spiritual mind and intelligence, and therefore we can start working immediately in Krishna consciousness. That we are not doing it, it's only because through the anarthas we maintain our ahankar. We don't want to actually get rid of it. Not now, not yet. So this is the problem. When we work out on this, then through the Buddha yoga, then with the knowledge, we should realize I should not be attached to this ahankar. That's not me. I don't want it. I shouldn't want it. And when we get this realization, then the process is very quick. That's actually when the devotee gets on the stage of becomes steady, nishta, As soon as he gets onto the platform of Nishtita Bhakti, then he is not fully freed of the anarthas. That means still the ahankar has some little influence, but the process is very quick because I have decided I don't want to be attached to these anarthas, and therefore not to the material world. And therefore the process, the chanting, reading, association, prashadam, can take really very, very quick effect. And in fact, if somebody is completely decided that he wants to do it, then it can happen in a moment. It's up to us. We are in control of what can happen to us. Krishna, as a Paramatma, he's always aware of what we want. He's always ready to help, but he is waiting for our call. That's how Krishna is. So if we don't call him, if we still are not tired of this material world, then he is not feeling offended, but he is giving us some time out. Just enjoy whatever you want. But whenever you figure out that you want to go back, I'm always ready. So the Buddha Yoga is about how to realize this. Is it okay?
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, in the beginning of the session, you mentioned Buddhi Yoga versus Karam Yoga. So are they same or they different? Or they lead us to the same direction, achieving the path of devotional service?
See, like, okay, as we were mentioning, sometimes Srila Prabhupada, he calls them different. Sometimes he may say that they are the same. Most important is it's the yoga. That means it's connected to Krishna. But actually, no, then the karma yoga, it's more the sakama bhakti. Because there we put more focus on the activities, and we are also like focusing more the way how we want to do it. So the karma is very prominent. And we offer the results to Krishna that we do. So therefore it's bhakti. But it's Mishra bhakti, not pure bhakti. Now, then the Buddha yoga, it's called sometimes the Nishkama Karma yoga. So we still perform activities. The karma still is done. You still work, you do things, but you're not doing it for your own pleasure. You're not doing it according to your whims, how you want. But you are very much in touch with the Lord, and you do it according to His desires. So that's with the knowledge. With the intelligence, we can gain the knowledge from Guru Sadhu Shastra, and we follow Krishna desire anymore. We follow Krishna desire from now on. So that's called the Buddha yoga. But sometimes, no. But it's some karma is being done. Karma means work, nothing else. So the devotee still works. And no. But he does it not with the intention to please himself, but always purely intention to please the Lord. So therefore, it's not Mishra Bhakti. It's a pure Bhakti.
Yeah. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, I
Hare
have
Krishna.
a question. Like in addition to this only, like for example, if there are Grihast devotees who are just a minute. Like if there are Grihast devotees who are following their spiritual master's instructions, like what we usually get around chant 16 rounds attentively, and then
Mhm.
follow four regulative principles, and then read the Prabhupada books, and whatever possible, like try to contribute little bit into preaching activities, and also study Prabhupada books, and also do some contributions in terms of monetary. And even after doing that, like because devotees, they're grihasthas, and there they also have to engage themselves into their other activities, like we mentioned, like the work and all. And because it is not directly or the level of the devotee may or may not be at that level where they see that whatever they are doing is bhakti only, and the consciousness may not be that so pure. And but still, if they are following whatever instructions their spiritual master has given, and if they are engaged in doing their regular work or office work and all, so, so what is that stage of devotion, or what is that stage for that Bhakt Maharaj, that devotee? And from that stage, where do that devotee go? Like,
You see, so generally for the Grihasthas, no, this is the stage of Sakama Bhakti Yoga, no, or Sakama Karma Yoga. It's a bhakti, but it's Mishra Bhakti. So no, I mean that's not to say there may be some Grihasthas who are no fully transcendental. Say, for example, Tukaram Maharaj, he was also a Grihastha, but he didn't carry much. He didn't care much about the Griha. No, so but devotees, no, taking care of their family, going to work, no, being engaged in the no social activities. So the question is, or the point is, why are they doing it? Now, what is the intention of doing it? Now, if the intention is okay, we need to live life, we need to be part of society, but we also want to be devotees. So it's fine. Krishna is giving him the option. It can be done. It is Sakama Bhakti. And you perform your activities, you do everything, but don't forget to offer the results of your activities to me. And it's Bhakti. But the Grihastha in his Grihastha life should figure out that I had spent so much time, energy, money, on everything in trying to become happy in the material world, but it's not working. It's not what I was promised. It's not satisfying. So at the time when he fulfilled his duty as a Grihastha, his children are already grown up. Then either he or together, they should just renounce the social activities and start focusing more on the spiritual one. So go to Vrindavan. No, both the husband and wife can go to Vrindavan, take Vanaprastha, and then just focus on the spiritual life. No, don't die, no, just being old man and be constantly engaged in some social affairs, sense gratification. So at the age, Srila Prabhupada's point 50, at the age of 50, then one should renounce the social affairs and then move on to the spiritual activities. Become Vanaprastha, study the Shastra, live according to that. And then, no, if the man desires, he may go and take sannyas, or they may just even continue living together, but no, not for other reason than for spiritual advancement. We see, like a Gandhari, and Dhritarashtra. That just, he took sannyas, he took vanaprastha, they went together to the forest, and then they practice austerity. So we should not see it as this grihastha life, opulent grihastha life should be the one which we want to live till the end of our lives. We should have plan. This is here for some time, and after some time, now I should just move on to the next ashram.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. And yeah, my next question was this only, which you just answered, that what should be the next plan, and how do we help ourselves, because whether I agree it or not, but doing the office work and all such things, you get swayed away, and it is very easy to fall back into our regular other affairs in terms of activities, and not but yes, in the morning time is there for the sadhana, and yes, other things are there, but the consciousness is not always pointed or fixed. It disturbs you.
Yeah, so that's why the vanaprastha, that you don't have to worry about going to the office. You don't have to worry about maintaining your kids. They're grown up. They take care of themselves. And now you have time the whole day to chant and study. So you can do that.
Right.
But it will happen only in some good association. When somebody gives you some proper enthuses you. So there is a need for sadhu sangha. There is a need for study the shastra. There is the need to develop the desire. Okay, I want to do it in my life. I'm planning to do that. When there is no plan, let's see what Krishna wants. It will never happen. You see, like Dhritarashtra, he was not ashamed living with the Pandavas, whom he made into his own enemy. And after that, they killed all his sons. They killed everyone. And he shamelessly takes shelter at their palace. And only after Vidura comes and tells him, you're a fool. Then he realizes and goes. But if nobody tells you, then you may actually think that you're doing so good. You will never come to know, maybe. But if your real friend comes and tells you, come on, for you, it's time to go. Start doing something about your spiritual life, sincerely. Then you may wake up and you may just go for it. That will be your fortune. You see, like Kardama Muni. He said, okay, he will give a son to Devahuti, and after that he goes. And he did that. And immediately when the son was born, then he grew up. That's because he's a divine personality. But son is grown up. I said I'll take sannyas. I took sannyas. So we have to have the plan. That at some point when we get old, then we should take vanaprastha at least. But the problem is nowadays that now when one is getting old, one getting sick, and one, oh, who will take care of me? I need somebody to take care. I'm sick, I'm this and that. We have no faith that Krishna will take care. And that's a problem. We should have faith. And then it will work.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay. Any other question?
Krishna, if there are any other questions, you can ask. No more questions, Maharaj. So, thank you very much for coming and giving us this wonderful association in this wonderful class. And let us all chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra once for Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Ram. Jolne Shakti Ajati Krishna, Parvati.
Haribol. Hare Krishna.